Right. So this is going to be a different video. I'm trying something different this week. Hopefully, you guys will like it. I'm just feeling the creative juices flowing. I don't know if I'm going to do a live video next week or if I can keep this up consistently. But like the old American adage says, ain't nothing to it but to do it. So here I am doing it. Feel free to share your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Uh, Here we go.
2023 has been one of the best years for video game releases in recent memory. While coming into the year, we knew we'd be getting highly anticipated sequels with The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Marvel's Spider-Man 2, something that defined this year was the blistering pace of great game releases.
It's true, this year has been ridiculous. So many games. I mean, obviously we've had some real big stinkers, right? Like record levels of just bad games, but we've also had like lots of stuff, lots of great stuff.
Seemingly every month. The sheer breadth of game releases this year means that our list of 16 standout nominees includes all kinds of games, from new titles to remakes, and RPGs to restaurant diving sushi sims. And so, as the year draws to a close, we're excited to reveal our nominees for this year's IGN Awards Best Game of 2023.
No. I did not forget to mention that this is an IGN-centric episode. Just had to get you on the hook. So if you hate IGN, tough tits. You've already clicked on the video. Enjoy. You might as well watch the rest of it. I'm serious. You might as well.
So many great games released in 2023, it was almost impossible to finish one before another was released. Resident Evil 4 came in March, followed by Tears of the Kingdom soon after, followed by Street Fighter 6 a few weeks after that, and so on. And then the avalanche came, including Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, and Spider-Man 2. Despite all the critical acclaim, 2023 was also one of the most difficult for game industry workers, as mass layoffs impacted over 6,000 employees, and we saw the loss of historic studios like Volition. If the highs were soaring, the lows hit rock bottom.
Props to IGN for this. Everyone has the right to celebrate the fact that we had a great year in terms of games releasing, right? But it's important to note that the people that make these games, the actual superstars, right? The LeBron Jameses of the gaming industry, instead of getting highly compensated for the amazing work they do, have just been getting their asses kicked to the curb. Not even to the curb, like to the moon, right? No one even gives a crap. There's a whole bunch of reports. Just go and Google gaming layoffs 2023. It is a disaster. Props to IGN for pointing out a topic that is not always highlighted. If you have a job and you need any proof that your current employer does not give a crap about you, no, you're not family. Don't listen to Janice at HR. Just look at the gaming industry. That is how companies treat their staff. If it hasn't happened to you, it's only a matter of time.
And it's important to acknowledge that some of the games you see on our list weren't made without cost to the people who made them. One studio that was impacted by the volatility of the games industry this year was CD Projekt Red, which was responsible for our first nominee.
Just don't forget, the game is fixed.
Quick note on this one. I love Cyberpunk. I think it's one of the best RPGs of all time. But what the fuck? How is DLC a nominee for Best Game of the Year? Come on, guys. There's lots of games, all right? It's not like we had a dearth of options here.
The story of CD Projekt Red's ambitious sci-fi RPG is well-tread, but with the release of Phantom Liberty, it's hard to overstate just how far this well-liked, if undercooked at the time, RPG has come. Phantom Liberty, which can only be played with the free 2.0 gameplay update that overhauls much of the game's mechanics and skill tree, feels like the purest distillation of what CD Projekt was trying to achieve with Cyberpunk 2077 3 years ago. It's a deeply immersive and cinematic RPG where players customize their very souls to make meaningful choices that permanently affect how they live or die in the dog-eat-dog world of Night City. It is also the first of 2 game nominees this year adapted from a classic tabletop RPG.
Again, I love Cyberpunk, but come on, guys. Okay, basically what we're saying here is if Street Fighter gets a major overhaul next year, they have a chance to win Best Fighting Game. Seriously, Tekken 8 is going to win Best Fighting Game next year. Just an FYI.
When the screaming stops and your mind is gone, the rest, perhaps, is silence.
Every superlative has already been given for Baldur's Gate. Greatest of all time, generational leaps, all of that, right? I'm not going to repeat that. What I will say, right? What I will say is this game is so good, it scared other developers, right? Other devs were like, yo, we can't do that. That's too much work. No. Leave us with these half-baked, microtransaction-laden, mid-tier games. We can do this. We can keep shitting these out every 3 to 4 years. But that right there, no thank you.
Baldur's Gate 3 came in like a wrecking ball, smashing apart everything we thought possible for a hardcore RPG. It's authentic, tabletop role-playing at its finest, limited only by your imagination and whatever virtual dice number you roll. Prior to the release, Baldur's Gate 3 looked like it might be one for the enthusiasts only, but instead it was a critical and financial hit that took center stage in a year that includes both Zelda and Spider-Man. Larian Studios' uncompromised vision gave millions of players the freedom to do whatever they wanted in Baldur's Gate 3, whether that's literally throwing party members directly at enemies, fighting a boss via the power of brawn or poetry, or even romancing a mind flayer. And if Baldur's Gate 3 is unapologetically old school, there are postmodern nominees like
From all I've seen and heard about this game, it's the gaming equivalent of Oscar bait, right? So Game Awards bait, and I'm not impressed. All right, I'll play this when it comes to PS Plus. I'll play it when it goes to Game Pass. Someone said Alan Walk. I just don't have the screenshot here, but someone called it Alan Walk too. So essentially, that's all I've seen. Just watch the gameplay. Watch the coming gameplay and tell me it doesn't resemble the so-called Alan Walk.
It took 13 years for a sequel to Alan Wake, Remedy's genre-bending action thriller, to come out, but it was worth the wait. Billed as the studio's first survival horror game, Remedy dove headfirst into the challenge of making a truly terrifying experience while still incorporating all the cinematic tricks it learned from games like Quantum Break and Control. The mix of live-action cinematics with best-in-class combat is a potent mixture, and the result is one of the best and scariest games of the year. Alan Wake 2 solidifies Remedy as one of the best developers at pushing the medium of games forward.
I'm very busy wearing a turtleneck and drinking wine like an asshole.
Zelda, we rely on your knight and that legendary sword he carries. Our last line of defense will be Link.
Here's a game I haven't played, but I really do wish I had a Switch so I could play it. It looks amazing. We all remember how the internet just caught fire when this thing launched. All types of inappropriate transformers being made. I'm not going to reference them right now, but things were coming out of them. And it looks like a good time. And yeah, this definitely is a good candidate for Game of the Year. No walking here.
Speaking of pushing genres forward, when Nintendo announced it would be making a direct sequel to its 2017 mega hit The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, many wondered how it could top one of the greatest games of all time. As it turns out, it wasn't so much what Nintendo could do, than what the players could imagine. Indeed, Tears of the Kingdom took Breath of the Wild's creativity and freedom and dialed it up to 11, giving players a new set of tools that enabled them to create almost anything. Whether that's building simple structures to hold up signs, to making weapons of mass destruction that rain down hellfire on unsuspecting bokoblins. Tears of the Kingdom's greatest achievement is taking Breath of the Wild's genre-defining formula and creating a story-driven adventure that feels truly boundless. While many games can purport to be adventure games, none come close to Tears of the Kingdom's freeform journey, with players free to craft and kit bash the tools they need to rescue Zelda and save the kingdom however they please.
Link, you are our final hope.
Onward and upward.
So it's no secret that I'm not a fan of 2D games. It's just not my thing. Most of the time, 1 or 2 good 2D games come out a year as far as I'm concerned. The last one that I really enjoyed was Trek to Yomi. And that's all I'll say about that.
While many expected the newest Zelda game to be Nintendo's best offering this year, it had one more surprise for us with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. The newest 2D Mario game feels like it was made from a company that finally acknowledged the innovations happening around it. Thanks to games like Celeste, Super Meat Boy, and Cuphead, the 2D platformer scene has never been better. And with Super Mario Bros. Wonder, it feels like Nintendo is looking at these games and saying, I see you. The level of ingenuity hidden in every level feels like the work of a dev team eager to show off its creative bona fides. And although a 2D platformer doesn't get quite the same reception as a new 3D Mario game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder puts Nintendo's mascot through his paces with levels that are explosively fun, creative, and challenging, and often all three at the same time.
Let's shut him up. I am a shield of Rosaria, and I will do my duty.
Ah, yes, Final Fantasy racist. Well, the game itself is not racist, but some statements made by the producer were construed as racist, and for me personally, I'm on the side that they were racist. So this is an article from Eurogamer, and just to cut the story short, he literally said the following. Ultimately, we felt that while incorporating ethnic diversity into Valisthea was important, and over incorporation into this single corner of a much larger world would end up causing violation of those narrative boundaries we originally set for ourselves. Up to this point, I'm okay with it, right? I'm okay with it. And then he ruins it by saying the following. The story we are telling is fantasy, yes, but it is also rooted in reality. That's where homeboy lost me. He lost me. And because for me, it's like, just say, right, we're doing this fantasy game, and it was a creative decision to not include black people. No problem, right? No problem. But when you say it's a fantasy game, but also rooted in reality, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth, right? Or you're talking through your mouth and your ass at the same time. Because dragons, right? Cool. Ogres, cool. Whatever the monsters, right, in this game, cool. Black people, goddamn. No, whoa. What are you talking about? That is way out there. Black people? Hell no. That's where we draw the line. And that's why, for me, I'm going to keep calling it Final Fantasy racist. I'll probably give it a go eventually, because he's just one guy. He's just the producer. But he's not just a random guy in the team. You know, he's one of the leads. He is one of the people driving the vision of this game. So, yeah, for now, still calling it Final Fantasy racist and not playing it. Not playing it. Maybe one day I'll get over it.
Possibly spurred by the innovations happening at the offices of its neighbors in Kyoto, Final Fantasy XVI is Square Enix's boldest reinvention of its flagship series yet, transitioning away from turn-based combat and opting for pure action. Created by the team behind the most successful Final Fantasy game ever, Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, this newest entry in Square Enix's long-running series is a classic throwback to the swords and sorcery era, with a healthy dash of Game of Thrones thrown in. Final Fantasy XVI is a proper blockbuster production, and its epic boss battles will have you feeling like Millhouse after he entered his name in Bone Storm.
This is great! And all I've done is enter my name! Thrill House!
Yay, another Spider-Man game. Cool. The first one was awesome. This one seems like it's a retread, but this time you have two Spider-Man. From what I hear, it's serviceable. Definitely worth being in the Game of the Year category. Sure, whatever.
Insomniac's first Marvel adaptation has the distinct pleasure of being one of the greatest superhero games of all time. So what do you do for a sequel? Double down, of course. Not only are there two Spider-Men this time around, but everything is bigger than before, including New York, which has 3 more boroughs added to its already larger-than-life Manhattan. Although the action has been cranked up with some of the most spectacular boss battles this generation, story remains the heart of the experience, exploring a Peter Parker we haven't really seen yet, a proper mid-20s adult balancing his job, relationships, and mortgage, all while serving as a mentor to Miles Morales. Oh, and Venom is in it too, and everyone loves Venom.
Meet Dave, an interesting little human with a precarious love for the
Another 2D game. Okay.
sea.
Who needs Manhattan when you can explore the vast wide ocean? While the discourse of whether or not Dave the Diver is an indie game has been the focus in recent times, do not let it detract from what an incredible achievement this game is. Mint Rocket's diving, fishing, sushi restaurant operating RPG multi-hyphenate is one of the most addictive games of the year, and finds a way to balance its myriad of systems into a robust and jam-packed game that rivals anything else on this list. Pixelated art style be damned.
Yep, that's me. And you're probably wondering how I ended up here. Well, it's pretty standard.
Okay then, so we can dispense with the discussions of the Xbox tax, specifically when it comes to IGN, when we're talking about the media, correct? Can we please now exclude IGN? Are we done? Are we done? Alright, but going back to the games, I'm a big fan of Hi-Fi Rush. I clocked it the first week it came out. My son also beat it. An extra accessibility feature that's very nice is that they have the voiceover in Portuguese, so it's much easier for my son, who is not very fluent in English, to play the game, to understand what's happening, and for the story to motivate him to continue going, because a lot of times he quits because he doesn't understand what's happening and he doesn't want to take the time to focus on the English. So great game.
Another of 2023's unique visual feasts was Hi-Fi Rush. In a year full of horror hits, Evil Within studio Tango Gameworks swerved with its colorful rhythm action game. The vivid Saturday morning cartoon art style belies a truly unique combat system where every move has to be timed to the beat of the music. Adding a great cast of characters, and this surprise hit is a crown jewel in the Xbox Game Studios lineup this year.
So the rest are just honorable mentions, runner-ups, etc., etc. No one really cares. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. My game of the year obviously is Starfield, and here is IGN's game of the year. Three hours. That was 3 hours to put together. It took me 3 hours. Jesus. I don't know. We'll see next Sunday. We'll see. Anyways, thank you. If you're still here, thank you. Put a comment up. Have a good one.